what value of lambda the function fx is equal to, it is lambda into x square minus 2x if x is less than or equal to 0. It is 4x plus 1 if x is greater than 0, is continuous at x is equal to 0. Is continuous at x is equal to 0. What about continuity at x is equal to 1? What about continuity at x is equal to 1? So actually this is the combination of two problems. One by one let us solve here. We have to find out for what value of lambda this function is supposed to be continuous. So we suppose, first let us take at x is equal to 0. Let fx be continuous at x is equal to 0. When it is continuous means left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit. Left hand limit is given by, it is x tend to it is 0 from negative side of fx must be same as limit x tend to 0 from positive side of it is fx. Or we can write this as limit h tends to 0 f of it is 0 minus h because it is from the negative side, and here limit it is h tends to 0 f of it is 0 plus h. Now you see here it is limit h tends to 0, it is, we are subtracting h from 0 means the value should be taken as less than 0. For less than 0 you see here this is admissible. So we write lambda into it is x is equal to it is 0 minus h whole square x square minus 2x, x is again 0 minus h is equal to it is lambda h tends to 0, it is we are adding something in h means the value will be greater than 0, so it will be, this is the value admissible, 4 into it is x means it is 0 plus h plus it is 1. We have to simplify that. If you simplify this, this will be 0, this is totally entirely it will become 0. That is, you see h is equal to 0 and this is also 0, it will become 0. And now it is h is equal to 0 here. So it will be 0, it is 1. But we see that 0 cannot be equal to 1. So 0 is not equal to 1. So therefore left hand side is not equal to right hand side. Left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. Therefore fx is discontinuous at x is equal to 0 for any value of lambda, because lambda is nowhere mentioned here, lambda has become 0 here, for any value of lambda. So after that we have to test for x is equal to 1. Now we test for x is equal to it is 1. So at x is equal to 1, let us see now function is continuous or not. Left hand limit is given by it is limit it is x tend to it is 1 from negative side of it is f. That is limit h tends to 0, it is f of 1 minus h. 1 minus h, it is, now you see here 1 minus h, this condition not at all admissible here, because x is less than 0 given and here the value seems to be it is greater than 0. So that's why only this condition is admissible. So we should take limit h tends to 0, it is, this is 4 into 1 minus h plus 1. That is here h tends to 0. That is equal to, we get it, the value as, if we simplify 4 plus 1 will be equal to 5. Now let us see at the right hand limit. That is, right hand limit is given by limit x tend to 1 plus side of it is f. That is limit f of it is 1 plus h. Again the value is greater than 1 means the only greater than 0 is admissible here. We cannot take that value. Therefore, we take here h tends to 0, it is 4 into 1 plus h plus it is 1. Again h tends to 0, 4 plus 1 is 5. You can see left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to right hand limit. Function is fx is continuous at x is equal to 1, and here in this you see lambda is nowhere in the discussion, so that's why we can write for any value of lambda, for any value of lambda, that is the required this. Show that the function gx is equal to, it is x minus greatest integer function x is discontinuous at all integral points. At all integral points. Here gx is equal to x is there and minus it is the greatest integer function x. We know the value of this function is less than or equal to x. So when it has some fraction, only integral value we take here. We know already what is the greatest integer function. Let us let c be an integer. Now left hand limit let us take. Limit x tend to it is c from negative side of it is gx. That is equal to limit it is h tend to 0, g of it is c minus h. That is equal to limit h tends to 0, it is c minus h, means it will be it is c minus h minus it is greatest integer function c minus h. Now here you see what can be the value of this here, limit h tends to 0. So it is from the c we are subtracting a very small quantity. So very small quantity means it is fractional part actually. Fractional part means the value of c will be it will become c minus 1. See, one value will be less than that. So that is equal to here limit h tends to 0, it is c minus h minus c it is plus 1. So now you can see h tend to 0, if the value will be minus c plus c get cancelled, h tend to 0, value will be plus 1. This is the left hand limit of this function. Now let us check up for the right hand limit. So here it is, right hand limit. Right hand limit is given by limit it is x tend to c from positive side, because c is considered to be an integer. So that is limit h tends to 0, it is g of it is c plus h. That is limit h tends to 0, it is, this will become c plus h minus it is c plus h. Now see here, it is, now we should be very careful about writing the value of this greatest integer function. Limit h tends to 0, it is c plus h minus, the value of this will be c only. Why it will be c? Because you are adding a very small quantity here in the c, and c is an integer, so value will be c only directly. So plus c minus c get cancelled, h tend to 0, answer is 0. You can see left hand derivative, left hand limit is not equal to the right hand limit. So therefore we can see that it is, this function gx is discontinuous at all integral values. At all integral values. At all integral. Look here. How the value of c minus h is less than it is c minus 1. Why? The value of c minus h is equal to c minus 1. We have to note here. Look here. We are subtracting some small value from the integer c. That means whatever answer remaining, for example, if you take c as 5, subtract him 0.1 or 0.2 from c, then it will be 0.8 or 0.9. The value of greatest function of c is 1 less than the 5, that is 4 here. Like that. So c minus 1 we should take. And similarly here, we are adding a very small quantity in the integer c. When you are adding very small quantity in integer c, then for example 0.1 you are adding in 5. So if you 5.1, the value of 5.1 will be 5 only. That's why we should take c. Right? The function is the function fx is equal to x square minus sin x plus pi. X square minus sin x plus pi. Continuous at x is equal to pi. We have to see. Let us take the left hand limit. Left hand limit is given by limit x tend to pi from negative side of it is fx. That is limit h tends to 0, f of it is pi minus h. That will become now limit h tends to 0, it is, this will be pi minus h, it is whole square, sine of it is pi minus h plus phi is there. Now h tends to 0, so it will become pi square, sine 180 minus theta. Sine 180 minus theta is sine theta, and you know sine 0 is 0. So what remains is it is 5, because sine 0 is sine 180 minus theta, sine theta, that is sine h, sine 0 is 0. So this is the value of left hand limit. Let us check up for right hand limit. Now limit it is x tend to it is pi from positive side of fx. That is equal to limit it is h tends to 0, f of it is pi plus h. That is equal to here. Let us write here limit h tends to 0, it is, now this will become, it is x plus h whole square minus sine of pi plus x plus 5. Now h tend to 0, it is 0. What you get is here, it should be pi, sorry. It should be pi here, pi square, sine 180 plus theta, again sine theta, and sine 0 is 0. So it is 5. See this here, the left hand limit and right hand limit, they are same. So therefore, left hand limit is equal to, it is right hand limit. Therefore, fx is continuous at x is equal to, it is pi. That proves the given problem. Discuss the continuity of the following function. A, fx is equal to sin x plus cos x. B, fx is equal to sin x minus cos x. C, fx is equal to, it is sin x into cos x. So now these all three bits have the same argument we have. Look here, we know since sin x and cos x, sin x and cos x are continuous functions. We have proved it, and if you want to prove, you can prove it each separately. So sin x and cos x are continuous functions. Therefore, by algebra of continuous function, we can say we have, it is A, that is sin x plus cos x, sin x minus cos x, and their product sin x into cos x are all continuous functions. If you write this much sufficient, because already here one thing arises, that how do you say that sin x or cos x are continuous function? To prove that, already we know how to prove it. We have proved it also. And if you want, you can prove it separately, sin x and cos x, and then you can write by algebra of continuous function. These all are sum and difference and product are all continuous functions. Discuss the continuity of the function fx is equal to x square into sine 1 by x if x is not equal to 0, and that is 0 if x is equal to 0. This one I have to discuss whether you see here, it is left hand limit. Let us take left hand limit is given by limit, it is x tend to 0 from negative side of fx, that is equal to here, and there is no need directly you can say, or because equal and not equal is there. Now consider this. X tend to 0 of fx is equal to limit x tend to 0 of, it is fx is given by x square into sine of 1 by x. Now always one may question that Why whenever it is not equal to 0 we are taking that power for the limit? What is the reason? The reason is that when we say that x tends to 0 means the value of x is not exactly equal to 0. It is very near to 0 and for practical purpose we consider it as 0. That's why we take this part here. Now again we know sine 1 by 0 is not defined. 1 by 0 is infinity. But one thing we remember that the value of sine and cos both have the range from -1 to +1. Whatever may be the value of theta, the answer will be in between -1 and +1. So we can write it is 0 into a finite value between -1 and +1. Finite value between -1 and +1 because sine has this range only. So the 0 into a finite value will be it is 0 and f of 0 is equal to it is 0 given. Therefore by the first definition of this limit x tend to 0 f of x is equal to f of 0 fx is continuous at x is equal to 0 which proves the given. Value of k. Find the value of k. Find the value of k so that the function fx is equal to it is k into cos x by it is pi minus 2x. If x is not equal to pi by 2, it is 3 if x is equal to pi by 2 at x is equal to pi by 2. So here already given that function is continuous. Then if function is continuous, then what can be the value of k we have to find out. So therefore we suppose since fx is continuous, therefore we can write limit x tend to it is pi by 2 of fx is same as f of it is pi by 2 by the definition of the continuity. Now limit x tend to pi by 2 it is, see here, it is k into cos x divided by pi minus it is 2x is equal to f of pi by 2 is given to be it is 3 given. Now if you look to the limit is not defined, it is the indeterminate form. So to solve it we have to substitute something and we have to simplify it. For this let us substitute, it is put pi minus 2x is equal to some y suppose. Then what happens is here, then it is minus 2x is equal to y minus pi or dividing by minus 2 x is equal to pi by 2 minus y multiplied by minus 1. Now whenever you substitute something in the limit, we should test for the it tends to y tends to what we have to see. So here now as here x tend to pi by 2, x tend to pi by 2. So what will we substitute here? X tend to pi by 2 means pi by 2, pi minus pi get cancelled, y tends to 0. See this carefully, please try to understand it here. How we are substitute here, and then we have, because the limit the variable is changing x to y and we are substituting the values. So here then we write limit y tends to 0, it is k into cos of it is x. X is equal to pi by 2 minus it is y by 2 here. Pi by 2 minus it is y by 2 divided by it is, this is y is equal to it is 3 there. Now we apply the formula of cos 90 minus theta. Cos 90 minus theta, it is y tends to it is 0, it is sin theta. Sin of it is y by 2. This y we have to adjust the value of theta, we divide it by 2 and multiply by 2. Now look here, k is a constant, it is sin theta by theta, that is equal to here it is 1 into it is 1 by 2, this 2 is equal to 2. Therefore k is, 3 is there, so that is 3, it will be 3, so k is equal to 6 is the required answer. If k is equal to 6, then automatically the function will become continuous. It is many times he has asked this problem, and for this year also it is likely to be asked. Carefully understand the problem. 4 marks question and appear in the section E of the paper. What value of k for what value of k the function fx is equal to kx plus 1 if x is less than pi, less than or equal to pi, it is cos x if x is greater than pi. At x is equal to pi we have to test. X is equal to pi. Now again, here there is no question of being continuous or not, it is already given to be continuous. So therefore we can write here left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, because in the given problem less than and greater than is given. So we should take this elaborated form, that is limit it is x tend to pi from negative side of fx must be same as limit x tend to pi from the positive side of it is fx. We can write this as limit h tends to 0 f of it is pi minus h. It is limit h tends to 0, it is f of it is pi plus h. Pi minus h means less than pi, that is first condition is applicable. Limit h tends to 0, we write it is k into x, our x is pi minus h plus 1 is there, kx plus 1 is equal to here it is pi plus h means greater than pi, that is limit h tends to 0, it is cos of it is pi plus h. Now here look here, h tends to 0, k into pi we get here, plus 1 is there. Here it is limit cos, this is limit h tends to 0, you get cos pi. The value of cos pi is minus 1. Minus 1 means here k into pi is equal to minus 2, taking 1 to that side. And therefore k is equal to minus 2 by pi is the value for which the given function will be continuous. Find the value of A and B such that A and B such that the function such that the function fx is equal to 5 if x is less than or equal to 2. Ax plus b if 2 is less than x is less than 10. 21 if x is greater than or equal to 10 is continuous function. X is greater than or equal to 10. Continuous function. Now, if you see the given definition of the function, we can see it is there can be discontinuity at x is equal to 2, and again another discontinuity can be there at x is equal to 10. Therefore, at 2 points we have to check up here. So here, first let us check up at x is equal to 2. At x is equal to 2. Now, left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. Left hand limit is equal to it is right hand limit because function is considered to be continuous. So therefore, limit it is x tends to 2 from negative side of fx must be same as x tends to 2 from positive side of it is fx. That is limit h tends to 0, it is f of it is 2 minus h. Limit h tends to 0, it is f of 2 plus h. Now we can write this as limit h tends to 0, it is 2 minus h. Less than 2, first condition is available, direct value is given, it is 5. Because for x is less than or equal to 2, 5 is the value given. Now for greater than 2, 2 is less than x means x is greater than 2, this value is available. So limit it is h tends to 0, it is a into 2 plus h plus b is there. Now h tends to 0, we get 5 is equal to 2a plus b, or 2a plus b is equal to 5. We get one relationship between a and b, that is 2a plus b is equal to 5. For x is equal to it is 2. Now let us check up for x is equal to 10. At x is equal to 10. So it is, we write limit x tends to 10 from negative side must be same as limit x tends to 10 from positive side. That is equal to here, from the negative side it is x is less than x, that means this condition is applicable. Limit h tends to 0, it is f of it is 10 minus h is equal to, for x greater than positive side it is given as 21. Now look here, limit h tends to 0, it is f of 10 minus h, that is given by this one, x is less than 10, that is a into it is 10 minus h plus b is equal to 21. H tends to 0, 10a plus b is equal to 21. There, this is equation 2. Now we have to solve equation 1 and 2 to get the value of a and b like a simultaneous equation. Let us solve it. 10a plus b is equal to 21. 2a plus b is equal to it is 5. Now subtract. This get cancelled. 10a minus 2a. 8a is equal to it is. Therefore, a is equal to it is 2. A is equal to 2. Now to get the value of b, here it is, we have, it is 2a plus b is equal to 5. 2 into it is 2 plus b is equal to 5. Therefore, b is equal to 5 minus 4, that is equal to 1. For this value of a and b, the given function will be continuous under given condition. one important theorem regarding the behavior of the continuous function. Suppose we have two continuous functions f and g, both are continuous at a point C, then their composition, that is g composition f, must also be continuous at x is equal to C. So we state the theorem. Suppose f and g are real valued functions. Real valued function such that f composition g is defined at C. If g is continuous at C, f is continuous C, then g is also continuous. Function. That means here, now we have two continuous functions f and g at a particular point x is equal to C, or at a particular range suppose. Then it is the behavior of the continuous function that their composition f composition g must also be continuous at that point. That is the theorem. Now by making this proof is beyond this class. So here only we take the use of this theorem. So we find out the given two functions will be given. We find out their composition, and then we have to see that whether f is continuous or not, g is continuous or not at a particular point. When it is continuous, then both must be continuous at that point. That we have to see it. Show that the function fx is equal to, show that the function fx is equal to sine of x square is a continuous function. Now we make use of the theorem, just now we have stated. Now let us suppose sine x square is there. So we should suppose gx is equal to sine x suppose. And h is also a function. Hx is equal to x square. Then you see here, consider g composition h of x. Now you see here it is g composition, by the definition it will be g of h of x, and h of x is given by x square. Now we have to apply g on x square. Application of g is whatever the quantity is, we have to apply sine for that. So here it will be nothing but it is sine of x square. Now g composition h of x. Now see here, our argument is that sin x is a composite function. Sin x is a continuous function. Already we know it. And because hx is a polynomial, it must also be continuous. Therefore, by the theorem, its g composition h, which is equal to sin x square, must also be continuous. So we write down, since sin x and x square both are continuous functions. both are continuous function. Therefore, the composition h of x, which is nothing but sine of x square, must also be continuous. Must also be continuous function. Must also be continuous function. So these problems, so we should be very careful for. So it carries 4 marks in the examination, and it will be there in the section E of the paper. Examine that sine of mod x is a continuous function. Again we follow the same procedure. Let us suppose here it is, let gx is equal to it is sine of it is x, and hx is equal to it is mod x. Now here is h of it is x, that is g of h of x. So that is g of h of x is mod x here. Now if you apply g on that, we have to take sine of it is mod x. Our argument is that sin x is a continuous function, and already we have proved mod x is also continuous function at everywhere. So therefore, by the theorem g composition x, sine of mod x must also be continuous. So we write, since it is gx is equal to sine x, hx is equal to mod x, both are continuous functions. Both are continuous functions. By the theorem, g composition h of x is equal to sine of mod x must also be continuous. That is the proof of that. And the function defined by fx is equal to mod of 1 minus x plus mod x, where x is any real number. Any real number is a continuous function. Now again see, let gx is equal to it is 1 minus x plus mod x, and let us take hx is equal to it is mod x. Every x belongs to it is real number r. Now let us find composition g of x, that is h of g of x, that is h of g of x is given by 1 minus x plus mod x. That is. Now we have to apply h on that. To apply h on that, whatever x is there, we have to take mod of that. That is given by mod of 1 minus x into mod x. Now again, the same argument, we have the same, you see here, consider this function gx. 1 is constant, continuous, and x is a polynomial, continuous. And already we have proved mod x continuous function. by algebra of continuous function, gx must be a continuous function. And moreover, already mod x is continuous, and the combination of this is must also be continuous by the theorem. So therefore we write since gx is equal to 1 minus x plus mod x and hx is equal to mod x, both are continuous. Both are continuous function. Continuous function. By the theorem, it is H composition G of x that is equal to 1 minus x plus mod x must also be continuous. Must also be continuous. Must also be continuous function. The function show that the function is equal to mod of cos x continuous is continuous. So here let us suppose let gx is equal to it is cos x, hx is equal to it is mod x, suppose mod x. Now let us composition G of x, h of g of x, and h of g of x is given by cos x, and to apply h on that we have to take mod of that quantity, that is mod of cos x. Therefore we can write by the same argument, we write here it is since gx is equal to cos x and hx is equal to it is mod x, both are continuous functions. Both are continuous functions. Continuous function. Therefore, by the theorem, it is fx is equal to mod of cos x must also be continuous. Must also be continuous. Proof that. So now regarding the differentiability, their formulas and all that we will consider in our next class.